All right. So, oh, all right. So today I want to talk about what to do when the best plan that we have fails, right? This whole series is all about strategy and planning ahead and planning for what's coming, planning for the week. But a big part of planning is planning for what we do when things fail and being able to pivot in those situations. So something we're always talking about, that I'm always talking about, is how do we quote unquote fail, right? How does failure happen? And notice I put failure in quotation marks for a reason. To me, the only way that we fail is if we quit. When you quit, that is failure. Anything else is nothing, is nothing. Because in reality, there is no failure. There are two options. You stop trying or you keep going. So if we fail, we fall off our diet, if we try a business thing that doesn't work, if we ask someone out and they say no, if we say, well, that's it, I lost, I failed, and I give up, that is when failure happens. If we don't give up, then it's just another bump on the road on the way to success. So the only true way that we fail with anything is by stopping. And why do we stop? Why do we quit? Usually, in my experience working with clients, it's a combination or one of the following: frustration, overwhelm, or burnout. Usually frustration around either the rate at which or the way at which the result is coming. Meaning, using weight loss as an example, I'm doing the work, but the weight loss isn't happening like I thought it would be. It's not happening as fast as I thought it would. I'm losing weight, but it's not happening around my belly where I want it to lose. I'm losing weight, but it's happening in my butt and I want my butt to be bigger. Okay. There's also overwhelm around I'm doing all of these things and it's too much to handle. So since I can't go on doing all of these things, it's so overwhelming, I'm going to just stop doing all of these things. And then burnout is just when our cumulative stress levels reach a certain level that is too high. So there's only so much stress that we can take in our life, whether it's workout stress, work stress, family stress, relationship stress. Stress is stress to our body. Your brain doesn't go, okay, well, I know it's been a super stressful day, but the stress from your diet is different than the stress that your boss has been putting on you. Stress is stress is stress. And when we are too overwhelmed with stress, eventually that will reach a level of critical mass, and that will cause burnout, and people will just go, well, I just can't take this stress anymore. And either you mentally will think that or your body will tell you. That's why people will get to a point where they're just like, I don't know. Some people will end up in the hospital. Some people will end up just sleeping for a while because your body can only handle so much stress for so long. But in reality, if we break all of those things down between frustration, overwhelm, burnout, the real common thread between all of these things, the reason that we quit is when we have an expectation that does not match up to the reality. We expect it to be this way. In reality, it's this way. We expect that I'm doing this diet, I lose this much weight. I've been working out for this long, I look like this. I put in this much effort into my business, and this is the result that I get. We get caught up in thinking how things should be. Should is such a powerful word because people have this idea of the way that things should look, right? Well, I didn't eat any carbs for the last 2 weeks. I feel like I should have lost weight. I've been working out so hard, my biceps should look bigger. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. every day for the last month. I should be able to do this now, right? That's a big one. I've been doing this for so long, it should be easier. I've been having these hard conversations. My significant other should get it by now. Whatever the thing is, we say should. And there's a term in psychology and psychotherapy that is stop shoulding all over yourself. Terms like should, supposed to, have to, need to, must. These things don't serve any real purpose except to set up that false expectation, because the way things should be the way things are supposed to be, the way things have to be, are not real. These are just expectations that we set in our brain that we create, but the universe, the world, reality does not respect that. The reality of the situation does not care what you think should happen, what you think is supposed to happen, what has to happen, what needs to happen, right? I have to lose this weight by the summer. Your body doesn't care. Well, I really need to get to X number of sales or get to X number of new clients before the end of the year. The market doesn't care. Again, I've been doing all this hard work. I should have lost that much weight by now. Well, my personal trainer, my doctor, my so-and-so told me that if I drink this much green detox tea and do whatever, that I'm supposed to have this result. Again, none of these things matter. The only thing that we can count on is what is. We have the reality of the situation, and we have everything else, the shoulds, the supposed tos, the have tos. So we've spoken about, your energy and your influence and what you can control. We can't control anything on this list. We have no influence over should, supposed tos, have tos, needs tos, must, and any energy that we spend on that is inherently wasted energy. And this gets frustration, and this gets overwhelm, and this is what leads us to quit, because we have these pictures of what things are supposed to look like, what things should look like. And when our reality does not match up to that picture that we painted in our head of the should, of the supposed to, of the have to, of the need to, of the must, that's when we get frustrated and we end up quitting. So that's why all of these things are canceled. Okay. Should, supposed to, have to, need to, must. We have to eliminate these words from our vocabulary. I catch myself doing this all the time, where I know I'm supposed to be doing this, and then I have to catch myself, because again, if I was supposed to, I would be doing it. If I should, I would do it. And that's it. There's what I'm doing, and then there's everything else. There's not, I know I should be, again, working on my business for a few more hours tonight. But am I? That it doesn't matter what I should be doing. What matters are the actions that I'm taking or not taking. Anything else is just me placating myself. Well, I know I should be doing this, but I can't because of this. It's just going to add a layer of frustration, a layer of stress to my overall bucket. And that's why success, if quitting comes from frustration, overwhelm, burnout, and in reality, it is an expectation that does not match up to our reality, because we start to should all over ourselves. Success lies in acceptance, accepting the realities. And I have the serenity prayer, which is very famous, obviously, from Alcoholics Anonymous, but it goes on, in AA and other religions and communities use this. But this part right here is so important. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is everything right here. If I can accept the realities of the things that are, rather than thinking about, again, the way that it should be, or that it's supposed to be, or that I want it to be, or that I wish it was, all right, and understand that I cannot change some of those things, that will go so far to allow me to stay on the road. And this is why AA is such a perfect example. Alcoholics Anonymous is such a perfect example of everything we're doing. Alcoholics Anonymous is all about one day at a time. It's forever. Someone who is in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, any of these things will tell you that this is a forever thing. And you have to, every single day, start the clock again. And its sobriety is forever. And in order to do that, they have to accept these things. An addict will tell you how much they will rationalize, and things should be, well, I should be able to just have one drink. I haven't had one in forever. I should, I think I'm all right. I can just, whatever the thing is, should, could, would, all that stuff. But we have to accept the realities of the situation that we're in. So, when we encounter a reality that's different than our expectation, it causes different paths in our mind. So often we think that there's two possible scenarios here, right? And usually if we come to a fork in the road, we assume, okay, I can keep going or I can quit. But in reality, when we encounter a fork in the road, we actually have three options here. Because we have try and fail. We have try and succeed. But then we also have not trying at all and staying right where we are. And this is the real difference that people don't realize, because they think that like, well, like, if I don't want to fail, so I won't do anything. But that's not succeeding, right? Even if I try and fail, I'm still moving down the road. And understand that success, failure, again, just how failure is not real, because again, it's just stopping and getting off the path. Success is equally as fleeting, because we don't know what success is in reality. Again, success lies in the future, right? We don't really know that success will ever come, what it will look like, how it will look, what life will be like, right? So again, it's just using weight loss. I want to lose 20 pounds, and that's me succeeding in my weight loss goal. But again, I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know what I'm going to feel like when I lose 20 pounds. Maybe I'll lose 10 pounds and I'll say, well, that's enough. I actually look good at this weight. Maybe I'll lose, 20 pounds and say, well, I want to keep going. I want to go to 30 because it's not actually as success as much as I thought it would be. Right. So we think about this success as like, okay, well, like it's failure or success, but even success, we don't know what it is, or we don't know how it'll make us feel when we get there, or if we will get there. The point is movement. So even if we try and fail, we've still gone down the path. If we try and succeed, we've gone down the path. But as long as we're not stuck staying where we are, stagnating, that's the important thing. So I'd rather try and fail than to sit where I am and not try at all. And again, that is what happens when you quit. When you give up, you are guaranteed to stay stuck forever. At least if you try and fail, you've moved down the path, you've moved down the road. And again, thinking about it as a fork in the road, you don't know which one of those paths is correct. So let's, again, just looking at this picture right here, if you go down the path to the left where it's quote unquote failure, you get farther down that road. You don't know how that changes. You don't know how your life is going to be in the future. So maybe failure then becomes success, right? We don't know what the future holds for us. So as long as we're always moving forward, that's better than stagnating and waiting or giving up because of expectations, because of frustration. So the best thing that we can hope to do is to change our expectations. And that is the way that we change our realities, right? So instead of expecting success, because I just said we cannot guarantee success, and even if we could, we don't know what success really is, right? We think we know it because success of, again, that losing 20 pounds is what me right now wants. I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months. But again, I don't know what my life is going to be in 6 months. I don't know how that journey is going to take me. Losing 10, 15 pounds might change what I think about. Oh, well, maybe I don't want to lose that much weight. I might say I want to gain weight because I became a boxer and I need to go up a weight class or something like that. You never know. So instead of expecting success, what we need to expect and accept is that there will be struggle. There's a quote I love, which is that success is never guaranteed, but the struggle is, right? Every change will come with struggle. We have to accept that. There is no way around that. Struggle and challenge come with any growth journey. Again, anytime you want to be better, it only happens at the end of a struggle. If you understand anything about building muscle, about working out in the gym, it is the act of struggling through a workout that literally creates the mechanism by which our muscles grow and our body gets healthier. That's why you don't get healthier just sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing. You literally need to struggle to create positive change. And to expect anything less than that is, again, your reality does not match up with your expectation. Because if I expect to be able to grow, to change, to be better without facing struggle, there's a mismatch there, because that's impossible. In the same way, if I expect success to be guaranteed via a certain input, I expect my weight loss to happen because of this diet. I expect my muscle to grow because of this workout. I expect my business to grow because of this, this business plan. Now, is that possible that input gets you that result? It definitely is, but we can't guarantee it. So if I expect that, I'm setting myself up for inherent failure, because I can never guarantee that. So I need to expect and accept that there always will be struggle, because that is what's guaranteed. And if I can expect that and move towards the struggle, understanding that struggle is what creates growth and change, that's what allows me to stay on the path. Because going back to the very beginning, the only way I fail is if I quit. So if you flip that, if the only way to fail is to quit, then the way to succeed is to not quit. That's all I have to do to not fail to succeed, is to just keep going, to make sure that we never give up, to stay consistent forever. Alcoholics Anonymous, this is for the rest of your life. If you want to be healthy, if you want to be successful, if you want to be smarter, if you want to be stronger, whatever you want to be, this is a consistent thing. This is a life thing. All you have to do is not quit. And that's why we'd have to learn to pivot, going back to the name of today's presentation. Because if we are going on a path and we reach that fork in the road and we think that we have to go this way or this way, and we stop or we get thrown off because there's a struggle and it's something, it's unexpected. I thought it was going to be this way, but it's this way. I thought that I was going to have gotten this result by 6 months, and it's been 8 months. So what the hell? I thought that it was only going to be this much effort, but I've already worked twice as hard, and that's not fair. All of these different things. If I let that throw me off, that is inherently failure, because I've quit, I've given up. But if instead of giving up, instead of stopping, if I can pivot and change directions, that's when I still keep going, right? Going back to that fork in the road, like I said, as long as you're moving forward in some direction, it doesn't matter if you're going this way or this way, as long as you're still moving forward, that's what counts. So rather than allowing a roadblock to stop me, if I can pivot and go around it, I can continue my momentum, continue my journey, continue that forward progress. And that's why we have to use struggle and quote unquote failure as a learning experience, as a catalyst for growth. Because again, the struggle is guaranteed. Failure, not in the sense of giving up, but failure in the sense of I tried something and it didn't work, is guaranteed. Again, quote unquote failure, that like people could consider this failure. Again, I tried this workout and I didn't get the result. Some people might say that's failure, but again, that's not failure unless you never try again. But failure in the sense of like, I tried something and it didn't work. As long as we learn from it, then it's a positive thing, right? Thomas Edison has a famous quote when asked about when he finally invented the light bulb, and he was asked, he reportedly made over 1,000 or 10,000 different variations before he found one that worked. Before he discovered the light bulb and could make it work. And a reporter asked him, he said, "Oh, like, aren't you, like, how did you keep going when you kept making prototypes that didn't work?" And he said something along the lines of like, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways to not make a light bulb until I did. It's basically just saying that he's learning from all those failures. It wasn't that like every time he didn't get discouraged, he just found one way that didn't work. And that got him one step closer to the way that did work. And if we can look at failure in that way, then it becomes a positive thing. I can lean into failure. I can look for failure. And that's when I truly will find success. Because again, struggle is guaranteed. Failure is guaranteed. So if I can look for that and lean into it and not be afraid of it and not run away from it, and instead just say, yep, this is how it is. This is what, but what can I learn from this? That's when you're able to stay on the path and stay consistent forever. And that's when you get real, true, life-changing results. There's a quote here that I love from Mice and Men, Robert Burns. Basically, the English is at the bottom there. The best laid schemes of mice and men oft go awry and leave us nothing but grief and pain for promised joy. Basically just saying, again, all the best laid plans, all the best plans that we have never go the way we expect them to. And they leave us nothing but grief and pain. Because if you have expectations that don't match your reality, it's going to leave you full of pain. So that's why if you can just change what you expect, right? If all of this stuff, if quitting, if frustration, if everything is linked to having expectations that don't match our reality, since we can't change our reality, what we can change is our expectations, right? We don't have control over this. We have a lot of control over this. So if we can change our expectations, learn to expect failure, learn to expect struggle, that's when we're able to affect our reality. We can't decide what it is, but we can affect it via changing our expectations. And the last thing I want to end with for this talk is just to bring up the principle of adopting a growth mindset. And in a famous book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, great book, highly recommend it. She basically found that the key differentiator between successful people and unsuccessful people in any regard, in any field, was not how smart they were. It was not how rich they were. It was not their age, their sex, their gender. It was not anything like that. It came down to people who were successful had what she termed a growth mindset, and people who were unsuccessful had what she termed a fixed mindset. And there's a lot of different parts of what qualifies as a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, but the main piece is a person who has a fixed mindset thinks that things are as they are. Things are fixed. Things are just the way they are, right? Oh, that's just life. That's just how it is. A growth mindset person understands that although things are the way they are, that they can change. Also, a growth-minded person sees struggle, just as I've been talking about, as something to learn from and grow from. Whereas a fixed mindset person sees struggle, sees this as something that is done to them rather than something that is done for them. So if every obstacle that's put in my way, if I look at that as a negative thing, again, understanding that obstacles are always going to come, there's never going to stop coming at me. Nothing is in life ever comes easy. If I look at all of these things as something that's being done to me, something that's attacking me, something that's holding me back, I'm stuck in that fixed place. I'm never going to escape that. If I'm looking at all of these obstacles that are coming my way as this is just a part of life, this is how life is, everyone has to deal with this stuff, and how can I look at this, learn from this, and grow from it? That's when I have a real opportunity to get past those obstacles, get over those obstacles, pivot around those obstacles, and actually be able to stay on the path, the journey, until I get the desired result, and then keep going. Because again, this is a lifelong thing. This is something that never ends. So I'm going to be talking more about fixed versus growth mindset in subsequent weeks. I just wanted to broach this topic quickly here because it's a bigger topic that we're going to be talking more about. But start to look at problems as an opportunity for growth. Start to look at things that would frustrate you, if they're frustrating you, as how can I learn from this rather than why is this happening to me? Start to look at things that are getting in my way as, okay, this is a part of the process. This is not something that's been thrown in to trip me up. This is just a part of the process. This is just a part of what I'm going through. What do I need to do to learn from this, to take away from this, to get around this? But this is not something that's being done to me. This is something that is part of the overall grand scheme of the goal that I'm working towards. And now if I can learn from it, I can grow from it. And that is the beginning of starting to have a growth mindset. All right. I'll see you all next week and we'll talk more about this.